Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric. Welcome back to the channel. We are going to get right to it. We got a lot of news headlines to talk about in the world of video games, so let's get right to it. Alright, the biggest news. PlayStation has officially announced an upcoming PlayStation showcase. They are promising to show a sneak peek at the future of the PlayStation 5. So if you're tired of playing Sackboy, Demon's Souls Remake, and Returnal, you might be looking forward to this one. I know I am. I want to know where the first party games are, where the blockbuster announcements are. This is going to be coming up on a Thursday, September 9th. So you can see they tweeted it out. They made the announcement. So Sony is announcing that it will hold a special PlayStation showcase September 9th. Going to start at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. It'll run for 40 minutes and what's being teased as a look into the future of PlayStation 5. Now, Sony says its showcase will include updates from its PlayStation studios and a look at games releasing this holiday and beyond. So that's enticing. I gotta be honest, the world of gaming has kind of been a slow drip feed. If you're not an indie game or some kind of random third-party port coming over to the consoles, it seems like first party's kind of been at a stalemate. Xbox has announced some of their stuff. They already got Halo Infinite available for preload on Game Pass, but I want to see what PS5 has in store for me. I'll be honest, I haven't really been buying PS5 games. So this is, Sony could be ready to launch a new PS5 system software update that it has been beta testing. The update unlocks M.2 SSD support and also includes some UI improvements to the PS5 dashboard and 3D audio support for built-in TV speakers. So save the date. Right here, here's their tweet. Save the freaking date. Make sure that you have it ready. Now, this goes on to say, while there's a promise of what's next for PS5, Sony's new PlayStation VR headset won't make an appearance at the showcase. So if you're looking for the PS5 VR, not gonna happen. The next-gen PSVR was reportedly detailed at a developer summit recently. Now, I have the original PSVR. I would not mind an update. It revealed that the headset connects to a PS5 via a single cable, which that's ideal. The headset also has a higher resolution OLED display, which is 2000 by 2040 pixels per eye, and an improved 110-degree field of view. Now, Sony is still promising plenty of great PS5 games from developers, large and small, and it's likely we'll get another look at Horizon Forbidden West, which I am excited for that. I'm pretty sad that it got delayed. The sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, it was delayed to February 18th, 2022, but that doesn't mean we won't get a trailer update or some gameplay, right? Fingers crossed. Perhaps we'll also see some updates on the next-gen patch for GTA 5. Some final gameplay of Bethesda's Deathloop PS5 exclusive that launches later this month. I forgot all about Deathloop. Deathloop, I forgot about that. Another game that suffered from some delays. So there we got it. We got a PS5 showcase coming up Thursday, September 9th. Make sure you mark your calendars down. I, of course, will be doing a reaction and thoughts to that as well. Now, for our next news, we're going to talk about this. This was a little subject that happened just the other day in regards to one of the biggest disappointments of gaming the last year. That's Cyberpunk. Now, there's been rumors of a delay for the next-gen patch of not just Cyberpunk, but Witcher 3, which is what this article is all about. So, Cyberpunk 2077 and the Witcher 3 PS5 and Xbox Series X might be delayed. I don't know if some people will be upset about this. Witcher 3 has been out for quite some time, one of the most beloved games of all time. And I'm definitely not upset about Cyberpunk getting delayed. That game needed delays before it even came out last year. Now, Cyberpunk 2077 PS5 and Xbox Series X versions may not be ready to release this year. During developer CD Projekt Red's latest results call, and this is via Video Games Chronicle, Michael Nowakowski, Senior Vice President of Business Development, told investors that the target is to release the next-gen version of Cyberpunk late this year. So that's the target. We're in September, a couple more months. At the same time, keeping in mind the lessons we have learned during the past year and taking into account that this project still remains in development, we can't say with full certainty that the production schedule will not change. So they're not rushing anything going on, which is not a bad idea considering all of the fallout that happened after Cyberpunk came out, all that fiasco. We covered it for months on this channel, from the refunds to the glitches to all the nonsense. My God, what a ball drop. Now, this says that uncertainty also extends to new gen editions of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Nowakowski says that with The Witcher 3, the situation is slightly different in the way that this is being tackled by the external team mainly, which is Saber Interactive, the company that we have worked with before on Switch and also with updates in the past. As with Cyberpunk, our goal is to release that game in late 2021. However, similarly, the development process is ongoing and will not be absolutely dead certain that the release schedule will not change. So they're playing it safe. They are basically giving a date, a window, and saying that they can't guarantee that it will not change. And that's to be expected. Again, you know, companies always say, oh, we're aiming for this, and they delay stuff. But CD Projekt Red has to be on their pins and needles now, ever since the whole thing with Cyberpunk. So yeah, I honestly think it's not going to happen. We're going to see delay here. The next gen version of, I mean, the regular current gen version of, for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 of Cyberpunk wasn't ready and still ain't ready. What makes you think the PS5 and Series X version is going to be? Now, this is a big rumor that I wanted to touch on. This is a Nintendo rumor. One of the things that people have always talked about is Nintendo Switch Online. That it needs to be updated, that it needs to be, I guess, revamped, reformed, put some more consoles on there. People want virtual console. People want better, you know, user interfaces, better experiences and stuff. Well, here's a rumor that is currently going on. This article's courtesy VideoGamesChronicle.com. Game Boy is reportedly coming to Switch Online really soon. Now, this is a rumor that has been going on for quite some time. Honestly, I've been hearing people in my live chats when I stream saying, "Oh, Eric, I think this is gonna happen. It's coming." It's been rumored for at least 2 years. I mean, shit or get off the pot, Nintendo. So this says the handheld is set to join the existing NES and SNES libraries on the service. It's claimed. I'm so sorry. I'm tongue-tied. Let me get some water. Now it says the Nintendo Game Boy and Game Boy Color are reportedly set to be added to the Switch Online service soon. Sources have reportedly confirmed to Nintendo Life that Game Boy and Game Boy Color games are likely to be added really soon, making them the third retro library available on the service. So yeah, the Nintendo Switch Online came out September 2018. They had about 20 NES games that were available on there. They were all the greatest hits. They were like, you know, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3. You know, all the heavy hitters that you want on the NES. Then they added the Super Nintendo like a year later or so. So right now it's about 88 games, almost 100, I would believe. Some Japanese, I want to say virtual console so bad. The Japanese Nintendo Switch Online service has exclusive games, and you know, some in the United States aren't over on that one. So if you have like a Nintendo Switch, you can make a Japanese Switch account, log in on that, and you'll have some games that you can't access. I don't know if some of you guys are aware of that, but honestly, this rumor stems from early 2019. There was a data miner, and according to this, we look at the news article again. It says in early 2019, data miner Oatmeal Dome, what a name, discovered that the NES Switch Online app contained references to 4 emulators. So I actually made a video about this. These emulators were Kaki, Canoe, Hayoko, and Count. So Kaki and Canoe were the emulators used for the NES Mini and SNES Mini consoles. So you remember the little minis, NES Classics and stuff? They used that to emulate on those. And then they were repurposed for the System Switch Online library. So there's 2 more emulators in the data files that haven't been used yet, according to this. So Hayoko and Count have yet to be used, but it seems likely that one of these relates to a Game Boy and Game Boy Color emulator. So that is the speculation right now. The last time Switch's online retro libraries were updated was on July 28th, when Claymate, Jelly Boy, and Bamboozle were added to the SNES library. Shin Megami Tensei, if it was added, added to the Super Famicom library. I'm sorry, that's a typo right there. So it's Shin Megami Tensei. I always have trouble saying that game. Now, Nintendo has discussed expanding the Switch Online library with other platforms as far back as 2019, which was 12 months after launched. So this rumor is just not going away. Game Boy Color, I wouldn't be opposed to that happening on the Switch Online service. I would love that. I know a lot of people want N64 content as well. I just want something, any kind of update. Give us some freaking games on there. I went on an epic rant a few months ago. It's just kind of like they're just spinning the wheels for whatever reason. I don't know if COVID had an issue with it or not, but come on, Nintendo, give us this. People want it. You're sitting on money. You are sitting on money here. Now, the next news, we're going to go into the world of Xbox a little bit. Let's talk about Elder Scrolls 6, which I'm personally looking forward to. I like Skyrim. I like ESO Online. I still need to play Morrowind and Oblivion and all those. But here's a current rumor right now. And this has always been something because ever since the ZeniMax acquisition, people wanting to know whether Elder Scrolls is going to be an Xbox exclusive or not. Now, this says the Elder Scrolls 6 is reportedly planned as Xbox exclusive. So, the Elder Scrolls 6 on Twitter, GamesBeat reporter Jeff Grubb. This is Jeff Grubb. I don't know if you ever follow him, whatever, pay attention to his tweets. He has a lot of inside sources. A lot of times he's more on the mark than when he's off. A lot of times stuff that he's reported on, speculated on, posted out there happens. He's a very reputable reporter, I would say. I reported stuff on him or from him in the past. So this is another one from him. He refuted the suggestion that in a recent interview, Bethesda's Pete Hines has hinted that Starfield could come to PS5. Since then, Xbox's Aaron Greenberg has made clear Starfield PS5 is not happening, and the game will launch on Xbox platforms. Grubb seems to have heard that too and thinks that Elder Scrolls 6 is planned as Xbox exclusive as well. I'm going to be honest, I would not be surprised. They bought it fair and square for like, what, $7.5 billion? The rights to Bethesda and all that. Use it to your advantage. I know there's people out there, I hear it all the time, my chat, they're going to be disappointed if they make some of these Bethesda games exclusive to Xbox, that it's bad business. No, it's not. It was good business buying those libraries up, buying the IPs up. It's their backlog. It's their property now. I know it's an unpopular opinion because PS gamers want to be able to play it on their console, but that's what happens. It's the age of buying up content. Disney's doing it. Paramount's doing it. All these companies are doing it for their services. And you got to remember, Xbox has Game Pass. But anyways, you could see, here's a tweet from Jeff Grubb. He says, Elder Scrolls 6 is planned as an Xbox exclusive as well. And this is in reply to the Red Dragon. And he's saying, Pete Hines from Bethesda suggests the door might still be open for possibility games like Starfield coming to PS5 in the future. You can see he's saying Xbox brands that exist on other platforms first and foremost. I think that's important to note. Minecraft didn't just stop existing on anything once Mojang got bought by Xbox. So he's basically saying, Microsoft will not make everything exclusive. And that the door is not entirely closed. But Jeff Grubb is basically saying, nope, you're wrong. It's going to be. So that's likely to mean Microsoft is still hoping to release the Elder Scrolls 6 on PC and Xbox Series X and S alone, with Starfield still more than a year away. The Xbox One is unlikely to meet the demands of the fantasy franchise's next outing. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be on the Xbox One. I think it's going to be a next-gen console exclusive. The question of Elder Scrolls 6 and its potential Xbox exclusivity has been asked since Microsoft announced its acquisition of as the last year. So we'll see what happens right there. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen with Elder Scrolls 6. Now, speaking of Xbox, we already talked about Sony having a showcase coming up. Xbox has exclusive news that's planned for this month's Tokyo Game Show. So this is happening later this month, the Tokyo Game Show. So Microsoft continues to try to make an impact in Japan. It's been something that they've been trying for quite some time. So this year's Tokyo Game Show will include some exclusive news from Xbox. The 4-day event, which takes place from September 30th to October 3rd, will include 44 presentations. So Gamescom just finished like last weekend. We got Tokyo Game Show, and Tokyo Game Show has kind of been one of those bigger shows, you know, alongside Gamescom on that side of the world. It's not as big as E3, which is on this side, you know, the Western Hemisphere, but in the Eastern Hemisphere, Tokyo Game Show is pretty big, I would say. It's up there. So Xbox has a 50-minute presentation planned for September 30th at 6 p.m. Japan Standard Time. Now, listed as the Xbox Tokyo Game Showcase 2021, the event promises new announcements related to the Japanese gaming market. So they said, jump in and join Xbox as we bring our gaming ecosystem gaming to the world. The event description reads, we have some exclusive news and content to share. Tokyo Game Show 2021 is our stage. The second year Xbox has held a TGS event. Last year announced flight simulator content related to Japan and discussed Series X and S plans in the country. The presentation will be the latest part of Xbox's attempt to make an impact in Japan, something it struggled to do ever since the original Xbox launched 20 years ago. So you can see right here, this says Xbox One has sold less than 0.3% of its consoles in Japan. So they just have never been able to succeed in the Japanese market. They just have not. It's something that they're still trying to do to this day. Now, continuing on, it says, last year, Xbox had Phil Spencer that the platform's market position in Japan isn't acceptable. Yeah, 0.3%. And pledged to do a much better job with the Series X launch in the region. As part of its acquisition of Bethesda in March, Microsoft also acquired Tokyo studio Tango Gameworks, a move that Spencer said was a great step towards achieving Xbox's ambitions in Japan, which I agree on that. That was a big power move right there. And he goes on to say, I've talked for a long time about our desire to have more of a first-party presence in Japan. He said following the acquisition, this is a great step there. Thinking about the map of where these teams are and talking about all the games they're working on. I can't wait to speak to the Tango team and get to know them. Microsoft has been courting Japanese indie developers in the continued hope of helping Xbox find a foothold in the Japanese market. So they're trying. They are working. They're working their butt off trying to get this. Who knows? Maybe they eventually will. I know they also recently hired virtual YouTubers, like 2 little waifu characters that are like virtual YouTubers that get huge live stream views. In June, Xbox's business lead for Asia, Jeremy Hinton, told IGN Japan, recently we've been connected with more and more Japanese indie developers, and we've never seen so many Japanese indie developers with our development kits before. Indie scene in Japan is growing and we're paying close attention. And indie games, whether you like them or not, they fill in a lot of the gap between the bigger releases. And with Game Pass, having indies loaded up on there is not a bad method, I would say that. Now, Hinton also reiterated that the Japanese market is important to Xbox and that despite the platform holders' continued failure to see sizable sales in the region, he sees it decision to supply Series X and Series S consoles to Japan during a time of limited stock as a justified one. Goes on to say at Xbox, we're not only looking at markets that are already successful, but also markets that are still growing, and it's clear that Japan's a market that we can't ignore, he explained. I mean, they see it right here. Japan's currently the largest and fastest growing market in the world, with particularly strong growth in the last 12 months. So, we'll see what's happening. They supposedly are doing pretty good with sales. I know Xbox came out worldwide on the exact same date back in November. They do say that it is off to a positive start. We know Xbox doesn't tend to release console numbers, but we'll see what happens in regards to their success in Japan. Now we have news of Crysis Remastered coming out in October for Xbox. This is a game series that I've heard so much about. I haven't really got to play it. I know it's backwards compatible on the Xbox Series X, but I haven't gotten around to it, but I'm pretty stoked about this. Let's take a look at this news from PureXbox.com. So Crysis Remastered Trilogy suits up on Xbox this October. Pretty exciting, with extra enhancements on Xbox Series X and S. So again, it was backwards compatible with the original, I guess, games from the 360 or Xbox OG. See, I don't even know what console it was on, but they released a teaser trailer today that you can go and watch. So it says, get ready as Crytek has announced the eagerly anticipated Crysis Remastered Trilogy, which will be arriving for Xbox One, Series X, and Series S on October 15th. So a little over a month away. Not that bad. So bundled with Crysis, Crysis 2, and Crysis 3, all three titles will have fully remastered campaigns. No multiplayer though. Will also be optimized and enhanced for next-gen consoles, featuring dynamic resolution. Xbox Series X and S owners can be expected to play through each title at 60 frames per second. 60 FPS upgrade. Sign me up, baby. Along with experiencing a variety of lighting, character, and environmental upgrades via high-definition textures. Now, this goes on to say the original Crysis was remastered last year, but was plagued with a ton of issues upon launch. Fast forward a few months later, and the game was in a better state. However, fans were left with a bad taste in their mouth. It later received a bump in visuals for the Series X and S, and now the trilogy will hopefully give it a new lease on life. So, I guess second time's the charm, coming in a trilogy thing. So it's going to launch both digitally and physically, with the latter coming bundled with a bonus art card. If you've never taken the plunge into the trilogy, now is your time. So I'm actually pretty stoked about it. Let's go ahead and take a gander.
Peggy 16.
Peggy 16. So I'm going to just watch this real quick. Okay. Alright, so I've heard all sorts of good things about this game series, and I haven't really gotten to play it. It looks good. I'm down. No multiplayer though. It's alright. I got Fortnite and Call of Duty to look at, but look at it. This looks nice. Maybe I have the originals. I could just backwards compatible those in the meantime. I had to see if I have them in my library, but this looks like something I can get behind. Cop. Like never before.
Hargreave was right. The suit changes all the rules.
Alright. I can dig it. Optimized for next gen. That's my Batman voice. Oh, cop. Dude, that looks like pretty good action-oriented combat and gameplay. Again, I didn't have an OG Xbox or a 360. I didn't get an Xbox One until 2016. So, I didn't even get a PlayStation 4 until 2016. I didn't have a PS1, 2, or 3, so there's a lot of games that I missed out on. Alright. Okay. That looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I think I'm going to sink the teeth into that. Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, another topic that has been a little heated, actually. We've talked about this on the live streams, if you're part of my chat, is the new version of the PS5. Some of you guys are not happy about it. Some of you guys are happy that you got a launch version of the PS5 because there's some redesigns. And along with those redesigns, they had to take out some stuff. And particularly a thing that helps the console from overheating. I don't know why. I don't know why they did that. But I'm glad I got the launch version of the PS5 as well. But let's take a look at this news article. It says the new PS5 runs hotter than the old one. Oh boy. I feel sorry for you guys that worry about this stuff, because this could be crucial. I don't know though. I've seen people in my chat talking about this. Doesn't sound like it was smart at all. So, last month it emerged that Sony had begun shipping a new, lighter version of the PS5. Now, a number of hands-on videos claim that the revised console runs 3 to 5 degrees Celsius hotter than the original. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit. The new PS5 doesn't offer any new features, but it does offer a smaller heatsink, which would seem to explain why it weighs around 300G less than the launch edition. It's easier to manufacture and runs a tad hotter. So I guess the whole idea was they wanted to make these easier to manufacture so they can get PS5 stock out there, since almost a year later the PS5 is still hard to find. But in a teardown video entitled "The New PS5 is Worse," YouTuber Evan Austin reveals the new machine's innards in fine detail. So he basically just exposed this. The original 1639G heatsink is gone, replaced by a 1368G model with fewer heat pipes, 4 rather than 6, and less copper content. So fewer heat pipes, less copper content. Compensate for the smaller heatsink, Sony has made the PS5 fan blades longer and slightly curved in an effort to draw warm air away from the heatsink with a little more efficiency. I know when the PlayStation 5 first came out, and the Xbox Series X came out, we saw a whole bunch of reports about this console just gets abnormally hot. I remember people were saying the Xbox gets too hot to touch. We gotta believe it for ourselves. We gotta see it when we gotta believe it when we see it. We gotta touch this actual console. Is 3 to 5 degrees Celsius hotter, that much hotter? I don't know in the grand scheme of things, but it is a little bit of a concern. To me, it's a mute argument for me because I got the original one. But I can see where some people might be let down a little bit. I wouldn't mind it weighing less though. PS5's a heavy sumbitch to hold. Continuing on, it says the result, according to Austin Evans, is that the fan noise from the original PS5 measures 43.5 decibels, while the newer model is slightly quieter at 42.1. You'll likely struggle to hear the difference unless you have bat ears. I can imagine like having Batman bat ears. So should you be worried about your console running hot? No. Although the new PS5 has been clocked at a toasty 55 degrees Celsius, that's nothing out of the ordinary. As VentureBeat had previously pointed out, Microsoft's Xbox Series X hit temperatures of over 60 degrees Celsius when playing Hitman 2. So, yeah, I mean, is there a big concern? I don't know. The reason why I brought this up is because there's been people in my chat that were talking about this that wanted to know my thoughts about it. To me, I don't think it's going to be that serious of a deal. Say what you want about Sony as a billion-dollar company. I don't think they would put an inferior product out like you know what I mean? I think it would be okay. I think we're going to be okay. Now, continuing on, speaking of products, let's go back to Xbox. We just had a new Marvel movie come out. MCU Shang-Chi. I hope I'm saying that right. Shang-Chi? I just saw it, actually. I watched it. I had a lot of fun. No spoilers. But it was interesting enough. Xbox is doing a sweepstakes, a giveaway for a custom Shang-Chi console. Now, this is pretty cool. I wouldn't mind winning a custom console. This is from comicbook.com. So, Xbox and Marvel have partnered up for a Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings collaboration that'll give one lucky sweepstakes winner a very unique console and controller combo. The prize package consists of a Series X and one of the newer controllers that ships with the consoles. Both of these reskinned to feature designs reminiscent of the ones we'll see in the upcoming Marvel movie. So that's pretty cool. Now, the custom Xbox creation was shown off on Twitter this week, just as the sweepstakes got underway. Those who have seen these sorts of contests before will already have an idea of what you have to do to be considered for the win. So, of course, you got to follow the account on Twitter. You got to retweet the tweet with the appropriate hashtag and hope that you're one of many who will be selected to win the console. So check this out. This is the actual tweet. It says the Xbox plus Marvel Hero collab you've been waiting for. Follow and retweet with Xbox Shang-Chi sweepstakes for a chance to win Ends on 9/18. So you have a few more days. You got like what, 15 days to try to win this. So looks like we have an Xbox. There's the Shang-Chi logo on it. So it's pretty much a basic Xbox Series X with the logo on it right here. And then you get a controller. We can't really see the controller too much, but the box has the 10 Rings logo. Pretty exciting, you know, being a Marvel fan myself. I would totally be down to have this. You know, and that Halo Xbox that's coming out too looks pretty sweet as well. Not that bad. So it says at glance, the console features the same logo that's been used in promos for the new Shang-Chi movie, while the box comes in has 10 rings around the Xbox logo. We haven't gotten too good of a look at the controller itself, but if the console is any indication of what it'll look like, the controller should be just as unique. So just wanted to let you guys know. Be sure to check out their Twitter if you want to go ahead and enter that. Best of luck to you guys. Now we're going to hit a rumor. I haven't talked about this in a while. This is PS5 restocks. Now there's a rumor going around, and this involves actually a good friend of mine, Jake Randall, who, shout out to Jake Randall. I met him at SEGE. There's a possible Target PS5 restock amendment this weekend. So this is possible. This is a maybe. This is not confirmed. So take it with a grain of salt. This says Target stores in an entire region are receiving PS5 shipments, and we might see the consoles back in stock this weekend. So this news comes from Jake Randall, who's known for his reliability when it comes to Target drops. On his Twitter, he shared a photo of a Target employee's Zebra scanner, which shows the amount of PS5 units on hand in a particular US region. This comes from an employee at Target who has access to the region's internal inventory. You can see right here, this is what Jake Randall got. And you can see some of these stores say 8 on hand, 17 on hand, 8, 5, 5, 9, 4, 10, 5. Of course, some of the information has been redacted, so it doesn't identify who the employee is. But Jake Randall has a pretty good history. So Jake emphasizes might when he writes, this is to say there might be a drop tomorrow, but shipments are still arriving as late as Sunday. So there's a possibility of a drop, but it's not certain yet. If we see the drop tomorrow, which will be September 3rd, today actually, it will be online only as usual. The time frame to keep in mind is between 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern time. So Target usually drops early. Most Target drops, however, have been between 7 to 8. So if you're an early morning person, it's definitely something you should look out for. And apparently the last Target drop was on August 27th. Now, this does say, in case we don't see a drop tomorrow, Jake will share more info with us on Monday. So make sure, if you're still trying to get a PS5, which, goddamn, it's been a year later, you're still trying to get a PS5, make sure you pay attention tomorrow. We might see one. Friday morning? Who knows, right? Best of luck. Now, our final story, this is a rumor, and this always pops up. This always happens around this time. People want Nintendo Directs. And this is the tale's oldest time. A new Nintendo Direct expected this month. So this is a rumor that's going on. The next event claimed to be planned for the next few weeks matches historical data. So this is based on previous trends and stuff. So a new Nintendo Direct broadcast is expected to take place within the next few weeks. That's according to previously reliable leaker Zippo, who updated a blog post this week to claim that the platform holder's next product broadcast would likely take place within the next 2 weeks. Now, he goes on to say this will reportedly focus on the remaining lineup for this year. It will give us peeks at early 2022 games, which is exciting. I want to see what's up ahead. I know WarioWare is coming out this month. I'm pretty stoked on that. Now, looking at historical data, the leaker's claims look like a safe bet. Nintendo has held the Direct during the first 2 weeks of September in each of the last 5 years. So, the last 5 years, they've held one the first 2 weeks of September. Pretty safe bet. Now, even during 2020, when the company famously did not hold a single full Direct broadcast due to disruption caused by the pandemic, it still published a bumper Mario 35th anniversary stream on September 3rd. On Tuesday, Nintendo Studio Monolith announced that it would be taking its website offline for maintenance on Tuesday, September 8th, leading speculation that it could be related to announcement. So this is an announcement that maybe in the Xenoblade 3 announcement would be happening. It's been recently reported that it is in development at the company and could be revealed during this calendar year. So, who knows? Maybe this could be happening. You can see they mentioned right here since 2013, Nintendo's done regular Nintendo Directs. This last year, it's kind of been quiet. There was quite a drought with Directs, and people were just wanting it, you know. Now, they did reaffirm us last summer that they would be committed to the Direct model. You know, earlier this year, Splatoon 3 was announced. They did like a teaser trailer with it. The last full Direct was held in June. They announced Metroid Dread, which is coming out in a month from now. A new Advance Wars title. The new WarioWare, and the first look of Breath of the Wild. So if we're led to believe that they are going to keep up with the trend of the last 5 years, we should be seeing a Nintendo Direct here rather soon. What would you like to see from it? I don't know. Anyways, guys, that's it for this long news break. I hope it wasn't too long. I hope you guys prefer this. I'm thinking of doing this rather than releasing a whole bunch of different videos a day. Let's just make one long one talking about news headlines, and I'll leave chapters down below in the description and in the comments so you guys can skim and listen to what you want. I'm always open to feedback. I do appreciate the support. If you are not subscribed, if this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscription button, guys. Leave a like or a dislike. I'm working hard for you guys every day. I appreciate the support. You stay sexy. I'll see you next time.
Consider supporting 8-Bit Eric on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link below in the description.
You want to become part of the hashtag 8BE Nation, guys? Well, be sure to pick up your official merch, now available online. Link is below in the description. We got classic t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, and even women's apparel. Don't forget, pick up your official merch now. And while you're at it, guys, feel free to watch the next video, or why don't you catch up on one that you might have previously missed. Thanks again, guys, for all the support. I couldn't do this without you. You guys are amazing, and don't forget to subscribe and click that like button if you are brand new. Thanks again, guys. Peace out.